Now, this also starts on the foot and runs up the leg. That you'll notice in these charts, you'll see some of the meridian has a solid line, and some of it has a dotted line. Y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
This solid line is the one that's just below the surface of the skin, and we can access that the most from compression and working on it. The dotted line is that portion of the meridian that goes deeper into the body and attaches to the organ that it's named after. So that's why we can work on the outside and affect the inside, because this superficial and then deeper meridian is all one meridian. So we're working here, but because it's connected to the dotted line, and the dotted line is connected to the liver, that's how we're affecting that organ. So we work the outside to affect the inside. So again, it starts on the foot and goes up the leg. So when we're looking for the liver, it starts where the spleen meridian started on the outside of the nail. The liver meridian starts on the inside of the big toe. Okay? And it goes in between the big toe and the webbing there, and between the second toe. So when you're working liver meridian, you can just press right into the side of the big toe. And when you come into the webbing, we're looking for the source point or balancing point, which is liver 3. So if you turn the page and you look for liver 3, it tells you the location of liver 3. And it says on the dorsum of the foot between the first and second metatarsal. Okay? So you're in between the big toe and the second toe, and you're in the webbing. Excuse me, the webbing.
The webbing.
The webbing. That's why I said webbing. And you want to go in there before you feel a little dull ache.
There.
Yeah, I'm going to go down a little bit and see if that's more or less. Oh, this is just more here.
No, the back. Right there.
Okay. So y'all find it on yourself. See if you can feel a dull ache. Let me know if you feel that.
No, I feel that.
You okay over here?
Mm-hmm.
So, locating it is one thing. Stimulating is another thing. So you find the point, and traditionally they say you hold it for 6 to 12 seconds just for overall balance. But if you're not very good with time, I hold it usually for 2 full breaths, like inhale, exhale. And anything you can do to bring attention to your breath while you're working, I would say go for it. Because, a lot of times when we work, our breath gets lost to us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like some nebulous thing that's floating around and we're not aware of it. But every time you bring attention to your breath, you deepen the work. Every time you bring attention to your breath, you can feel more. Right? So you want to remember about the breath. So the meridian then comes up, and where the spleen meridian was tucked right up underneath the tibia, this is about a thumb width medial. Okay? So you just come up this here way, and it's going to be a straight line up the adductors. Okay? So one thing you can do when you're working, you could either work the meridian this way, because you're putting it in stretch a little bit. And then just continue that line. So it's where the spleen meridian was here, liver meridian here. So this here line, pretty much. Oh yeah, that's right on that line.
Follow the pants.
Okay, so here's one thing. Say on a functional level you can grasp why we're working the lines. One of them is because they're in between things, and they help with the fascia in between the muscles. And that makes your body move smoother. And that makes things circulate more. And that makes you function easier. So this is a blessed thing. So when you're working for the meridians, just to keep it general and clear, when you're working in the adductors, let your thumbs feel the space in between the adductors. Okay? When you're working in between the adductors, you're going to be on the lines. When you're working in between the adductors, you're going to free up the fascia. So it's a win-win situation. Okay? In Thai, I teach a lot of Thai schools, and from this book called 7 Peppercorns by this very wonderful person, very clear writer. Her name is Nefer Jacobson. And she talks from the classic texts of Thai massage, and she says the lines are in between things. And when I looked at the meridians in between things, they're not on muscle, they're not on bone, they're in between. They are tucked under things. And again, in between and under things is where the fascia has a tendency to get glued the most. So we're here to create space and fluidity, basically, so things move better. So spleen starts on the outside. Here's the source point at the base of the toe. Comes right up underneath the tibia, up to, and we're just following the meridian up to here. And the liver starts on the other side of the toe, and the source point is in the webbing. And then it comes about a finger width medial of that, straight up the leg. Now, look at the last meridian in the leg and in the inner leg, and that's the kidney meridian, the aforementioned kidney meridian. And I don't know what page that is, but
29.
pardon me?
29.
29, please. And you'll see that is the third of the meridians that start in on the foot. The kidney meridian is the only meridian that starts on the bottom of the foot. Okay, and it starts right in the hollow here, underneath the bony ridge of the foot, in line with the middle toe, up underneath here. So press up underneath there and feel the arch of the foot, and then in line practically with the middle toe, when you want to press up towards the bone, that's kidney 1, where the kidney meridian starts. So that's a good point when you're working on the bottom of the foot for general relaxation, but also it's a good point to help the person get their energy going again, because the kidneys again hold all your energy. But this point is called bubbling spring, because what it does is it activates the kidney energy and starts sending it up the channel. And the further up the channel it goes, the more things it activates. So it helps really give you a little bit of boost of energy. But that is not the source point, that's just the beginning of the kidney meridian. So if you're looking at the picture of the kidney meridian, you'll see it's coming up and it does a little circle behind the ankle. You see that little spin there? I wonder what it was thinking when it did that. What page is that again?
29.
Lisa's set up for visual. I want to accommodate her. So it starts on the bottom of the foot and comes up and then does a little hoodoo down by the back of the ankle. And then it comes up and then it's the most medial, just on the inside of the leg up. So when you're looking for the source point for the kidney meridian, and I'd like you all to do it on yourself, you can use 2 bony landmarks. One is the medial malleolus, so you see the medial malleolus, and also the Achilles tendon. And the source point is right in between those two. There's a little valley you'll feel, and you want to apply the pressure towards the malleolus. So they should feel like a little dull ache if you're on the point. Do that to yourself until you feel that. Y'all feel that at all? Todd 1? Yes? So dig this about the point. So you press in. And press in a good pressure. And you all feel the dull ache. You still feel it, Lisa? Now start easing up the pressure. And seeing how easy you can press where you can still feel the ache. It gives you a sense of about how much pressure you really need to apply to a person for them to feel the effect. Still feel?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we use our ego to find the point, you know, because we're going around and pushing in and like, I got that point. And then you use your heart to sort of regulate the pressure for the compassion of it, you know. Also the effectiveness, you know, you can press too hard on something and it's almost counterproductive to something. Muscle, press someone for information too hard, too much, they'll just pull away. That's just the natural reaction to things. You press too hard and too quick on something, they're going to go the other way. But easy, you know. And then from there, you just do a continuous line right up. So remember, spleen, liver, kidney. And again, when you press, see if you can feel if it's between things. Right? You remember something?
I'm just trying the first letter. I have a terrible memory, so like the first letter would be John, like S-K-L, like from
S-L-K.
S-L. So spleen, liver,
Kidney.
Yeah, S-L-K.
Yeah, S.
Silk.
Spill.
Like silk.
Okay? Everyone okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, oh, you can shut that off.